Well, I have to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Macho Man! Your life is a Slim Jim. Step into a Slim Jim. It's your life.
And then it'll be chopped. Hey, everybody. We are the Heels of Time, rocking out episode lucky number 7.
And you are listening to the smooth sounds of your host, Theo.
And Derek. Yeah. We have a very special episode continuing on with our favorite female thus far of Moiraine Sedai.
That's right.
And we found some great parallels from before with her and Gandalf. And we're going to continue on with our expose of possibilities in the multiverse of her and the Greek fates. So I think it's going to be an interesting one for everybody. Derek, what you think?
Oh, this sounds like it's going to be fire.
I hope so. So
I'm going to be hanging on by a thread.
Oh, and
I think it's going to be sheer delight.
Yeah, I'll probably just snip it, so we're good. End it all. Snip, snip. Yeah, we're making fun of it, but honestly, the Greek fates are pretty cool.
Oh, for sure.
They're literally the weavers of your life. So there are 3 of them. They are all sisters. They're actually in lots of different mythologies, but I like Greek mythology. I don't know about you, Derek, but I'm kind of prevalent for that part.
It's pretty amazing, pretty sweet.
So like I said, there are 3 sisters. And go figure, they have multiple lineages, but whatever. The most common is go figure. If there's a commonality about people and their patronage, who is it, Derek? Probably in the Greek pantheon. Who's probably the father?
Oh, Zeus. No?
Zeus? I don't know. You may have blipped out. But yeah, but that was Zeus anyway. He's usually the one that, fathers most of everybody.
Big dog.
Yeah. And some people say it's Nyx, which is a night, the goddess of night.
All right.
More likely though, it's Themis, and she's the goddess of justice.
Oh wow.
It's like the more fashionable, I guess you could say. So they legitimately have to do with every single person's life. You literally, you're measured, you're cut, all of that is done by these 3. They kind of weave the thread. One measures it out, the other one snips it at the end of your life, and that is like your life strand, so to speak. So Hesiod, he's a ancient Greek author. He named the 3 of them. Well, probably didn't name them, but he wrote them down. Clothos, which is the spinner. She's the one that would literally make the thread, so to speak. I always butcher this one. Lactusis, but she's the allotter. She's the one that would measure out how long your life was going to be.
Okay.
And then the 3rd was Atropos, which is the unavoidable, aka, what comes true, only death and taxes. Yeah, nice. She snips you at the end. She literally says, "Oh, that's how long your life is going to be." Snips. So those are the 3. They are in Roman mythology as well. However, the interesting part about them is they're never really seen. They're never really physically in many or any really mythological stories. You don't really see them ever. It's not like, Hercules, the Disney cartoon, you kind of see them all singing and everything. No, it doesn't really happen. They're kind of behind the scenes. They're kind of doing their thing in their own little world, kind of, if you want to call it a little world, but they're kind of out there a little bit.
Okay.
So really the only time that you really see them is once. And that's Apollo, because he's the only one that tricked the fates
Mm.
because he wanted his friend to live beyond his assigned lifetime.
Oh, wow.
Ironically, he got him drunk. And they're like, well, we can't really like, a circle of life kind of thing. We can't just like, we just can't say, yeah, he's gonna live. So he's like, well, would you take a substitute? Oh, what the hell? Sure, we'll take a sub. And then they're like, oh crap, what do we just do? Whoops. Whatever, it's done, can't do anything about it. However, it's because they changed the rules. It wasn't someone else changing them for them. Once they
Mm.
ruled, that was it. There was no going back on it. Even Zeus couldn't actually veto that power.
Oh, man.
Like once they snipped that line and once they said this is how it's going to be, he couldn't even just say change it. They didn't really want to, which again they only got tricked once ever. That was it. Um, so yeah, they're pretty important in terms of Greek mythology. So ironically,
Wow.
they were called the collective name or the Moirai.
The more I.
Yeah,
Mm.
Moirai.
Wow.
Interesting. Well, not
Wow.
interesting spelling for ancient Greek, but kind of interesting spelling for a particular character. Say,
For
Derek?
sure. Oh, for sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
We'll
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 probably get
we'll
to that.
we'll come to that for sure.
So,
I've got something even about Apollo on the tip of my tongue that I'll
really?
throw at you. Oh, for sure.
Oh, nice. Didn't really go for that.
No, no,
So,
just it's yeah. No, go on. Go on.
no, it's all good. So they, like I said, they were around. They were around for a while. They are also known as the Three Witches.
Mm.
And
Mm.
you people may have heard of this one, like the Wired Sisters, the
Mm.
Weird Sisters. So Harry Potter theme. That was the name of the band,
Okay. Cool.
ironically.
Cool.
Uh, so that's kind of interesting. So they're around, man. They did some crazy shit. And like I said, they were not to be messed with. Because again, they naturally could change their mind and snip you a little short. So they weren't to be messed with.
Mm.
So I think that's a good background, I think.
No, that's plenty good. Yeah.
I think I
You
think there's a little bit to go off of it in terms of our Wheel of Time character
oh,
here.
for sure.
So hook it up, bro. Let's see what you got.
All right. Well, I want to start off with this fact. Morai, the three Morai sisters, Moirai. Then you have Maureen Sadai. What are the first letters of her name? Moirai. Exactly the same in the exact same order. Now, that is of itself a profoundly insane coincidence considering her name is Moiraine. I've never seen the name Moiraine spelled
No,
that
never
way
spelled
before.
that way. I always thought that it was a little weird. Like myself, I was like, God, that spelling looks so funky.
Yeah,
And
for sure,
then
for sure.
I was like, wait a minute. Holy crap.
Right?
I'm sorry, that was like a holy crap moment when I clicked. So go ahead. Sorry. Go for
No,
it.
no, no, for sure, for sure. And it is, I mean, what else could that, what other reason, what else would motivate him to change the common spelling Moraine
Right.
to align with the Morai, the fates? And it might be the fact that Moraine was present at the birth of Rand, but you wouldn't know that unless you read the New Springs book, listeners. She was there at the village, the faithful night of the Trollocs, when she changed the fate of the three protagonists of the Wheel of Time series.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, Rand, and Perrin's fates were all changed. All three of them were changed that night. And also, Moraine knows very much. She's very familiar with the history and the prophecies of the Wheel of Time, very confidently, more than once, telling Rand, "You will die at Shile Gull." She knows what his fate is. It's not a guess. She knows. She seems to have a certain wisdom about her, even kind of beyond your average Aes Sedai. Can she attribute it to her studies? Maybe. Although, in one instance, we do find that Moiraine is able to see many of her possible lives play out. She says, "In one life, maybe I was your lover, Rand, but that did not work out very well." So she knows exactly how things should go or how things need to go in order for fate to work out in the way that it should, so to speak. So it's almost as if she's measuring out the lifespan and deciding
Mm-hmm.
where to clip it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So also interesting about that, and maybe less significant or more like, oh well, you're playing a little bit of word games here, but you know what, she is a powerful channeler. And what do they call channelers? They call them weavers. They weave the one power, very similar to what you said about the first sister pulling the thread from a spindle, kind of weaving it, right?
Yep.
Well, uh going on from that, she also knows when she will die, whereas she kind of seems to choose that moment. And maybe it's not a final death because we do see her again, but I don't really think she fully knew or appreciated at that point that she would in some way survive uh, jumping off the deep end when she took Lanfear to the other side, so to speak. And Lanfear definitely did not survive.
No.
Well, did she come back? Maybe. That's something maybe we'll get into another time. So, what's interesting is these fates, right? They're kind of in the background, but and they kind of are mysterious, right?
Mm-hmm.
But can they lie to you? Can they like say, "Oh, you're going to live to be 20," and then snip you at 10 years old?
That doesn't really sound like something they would do. They wouldn't. They'd be truthful.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
and truthful as
yeah,
much as a god is going to be truthful to you. But
well,
yeah,
yeah, for sure. So maybe some riddles, but pretty much it is what it
right.
is. Well, the Aes Sedai have to take an oath on something called the Oath Rod. And one of the oaths that they take is to speak no word that is untrue. Now, notice that it doesn't say speak the truth at all times. It says speak no word that is untrue. So with that, they're able to have a lot of wiggle room. Like Theo is my host, but if Theo was asked to die, he could say something like, "You may call me Ishmael." Does that mean it's his name? No. Did he lie to you? No. He just said you can call him that. So, in the same kind of elusive wiggle room that maybe the Morai might have had, the Aes Sedai, and specifically Moiraine Sedai, is able to kind of say things that are definitely not false, but they may not give you the impression that you may think that was intended, kind of like a riddle in a way, but definitely something set in stone, so to speak. What I think is interesting, and I want to expand on this just a little bit, within the Wheel of Time, within Randland, the Aes Sedai are said to meddle in affairs of men.
Mm-hmm.
And specifically, they're said to tie strings to people, almost as if the life thread is being measured out
Right.
in a certain way, right? Yeah,
Right.
yeah. You can dig that, huh?
I can dig it. I dig what you're putting down.
All right. Here's another small similarity. So you mentioned that one of the terms for them is that they're the weird sisters, right?
Yep.
Well, Aes Sedai are referred to as sisters.
Right.
They're also known as the three witches, yes?
Yes.
Well, Aes Sedai, by their detractors, specifically the White Cloaks, are known as witches. Now, specifically, Moiraine has two sisters, making her a triplet of sisters, much like the Fates.
Mm-hmm.
She's the only one that can channel, however. But again, we're not looking for one-to-one relationships here. We're looking for fragments and similarities that are woven into the story, weaved into the story. Now, that is about all we have, but
I got some crazy stuff though.
well,
One little crazy stuff.
I have something extra for you before,
Oh
if you
man,
have something to add.
all right, go for it.
So,
Go for it first. We got surprises
yeah,
for each other today.
yeah. So remember in our Apollo video about is Rand Apollo?
Right.
Well, check this out. You told me that Apollo was the only god to ever trick the fates, right?
Yep.
Well, Rand at the very, very end, in the presence of Moiraine being in
Basically,
his
this is a huge
circle,
spoiler, by the way, right?
huge spoiler.
Okay. Just pause for a second. Huge spoiler. You don't want to know this.
Mm-hmm.
It may want
Like,
to dip out for a second.
like we do spoilers all day, but this is a big one.
Yeah.
So Rand in Randland is literally the only character that has sidestepped fate. And how does he do that? He makes a substitute for his life with another so that he may still live.
Huh. Could that potentially sound a little familiar?
Now,
Little
that,
bit.
yeah, just a
Little
little
bit.
bit. There's, there are other ways that this is kind of accomplished. Like people are brought back, but Rand is literally the only character that's just straight up sidesteps it.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Do you have anything to add to that? Anything to
I
come
got
back to?
one little thing.
No, go
Little
for
thing.
it.
So you know Moiraine, right?
Mm-hmm.
She uses it's not necessarily a weapon, but she carries her staff, right?
Okay.
So one of the fates, I mean, well, not one of the fates, but the fates have a bunch of symbols. So you would think, okay, thread, that makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Spindle, well, that would make sense because you got to make the thread. The scroll, because they got to like figure out who's the, everybody on the list and everything. That's fine too.
Yeah.
Shears, scissors, you got to snip it. The book of fate, because they got to write everybody down and make sure they keep everybody in track, because it's literally everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the one of the other ones is also a staff.
Oh, okay.
And now again, if you can kind of tell who's going to have what, but
yeah.
if Moiraine's one of the sisters, got a staff.
So I got
one of the fate symbols is a staff.
I got something for you. So her sisters, as in not her literal sisters, but her Aes Sedai sisters, the Brown Aja record everything, almost like
book, right?
Writing it down in a book.
Okay.
Now she has another set of sisters called the Red Aja, and you know what they do? They look for men that can channel, and they sever them. They snip their connection to the true source. Yes. And Moiraine would be the third one, walking around with her staff, kind of measuring everybody out.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So do we know where Moiraine actually came from? Do they actually ever say, did she come from the east?
She comes, actually, yeah, she does come from the east. She comes from Karyanan.
Huh. Interesting. I forgot that part. Whatever. Because I also want to say this part too. So remember how I said there's three sisters?
Yeah.
Anthropos. So she was actually pre-Greek, Mycenaean. So she goes back for whatever reason a little bit further.
Okay.
And they're also thinking that she may have been a demon from before.
Oh,
A spirit called, I mean, it's not Asia, but Isia, which is Aisa.
wow. As in like Aes Sedai, like
Right.
Isa.
Uh-huh.
Oh wow, oh wow, that's really cool. So yeah, wow. So we have a lot of word games and a lot of literary connections,
I think so.
but we also have a lot of literal connections.
Yes.
Severing staffs, measuring books,
Spindles,
sisters, witches.
scrolls, shears,
Yeah.
books.
Knowing fate, knowing when someone's going to die,
Mm-hmm.
uh, being present when someone is able to sidestep fate
Once and only once.
once and only once.
So I think Robert Jordan may have gotten a little influence from the fates here. I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, I see it. I see it as if it was written in the stars, Theo.
Ooh. Did you weave a little tapestry about that?
Measured it out and cut it at length.
Nice. So this one may have been a little short episode, a little episodic, but we think that this one was a fun one, and we wanted to touch on this subject just a brief second, not necessarily a super full episode.
And let me just add, we may have more episodes exploring the significance of characters' names.
Oh yeah, that's I think that's going to be prevalent because I think he did a lot of word games, and I think he left us little clues, potential red herrings,
Mm-hmm.
and again, he didn't like take things one for one perfectly, just so it's not, oh man, that's X, Y, and Z. I know that immediately.
Mm-hmm.
You have to dig a little bit. I think that was pretty ingenious.
Oh, for
Um,
sure.
so that's our episode. I always have fun with these. Derek, I hope you do too.
Theo, always. And until next time, we are the
The
Heels of
Heels of
Time.
Time. Dum, dum, dum. All right, you
Peace
guys
out.
have a great weekend and great week. We'll see you next week. Bye now.
Until next time.